Grand Rising Mi5. What's going on, guys? Hey, here we go. Here we go. Mi5, my people, my family, my tribe. What is going on, you guys? Thank you for joining us here on this wonderful Thursday night. I want to wish you all a very happy Thursday, and I hope you've had a happy and successful day today. Today we are going to be having Tim Wynia on tonight, and man, this guy's got so much knowledge. It's going to be amazing. Tim has been a serial entrepreneur for most of his life, doing stuff within the cannabis industry, selling all kinds of different stuff, and he's actually launching his own book right now. So in terms of what this guy has done, he is very well qualified to pass down wisdom to all of you guys, and we're really excited to have him come on here and drop some gold nuggets. I've talked to him a couple of times, and it seems like every single time this guy opens his mouth, a pearl falls out. So I'm just really excited to see what goes down. First order of business is, the reason why, we're gathered here today is for something called Mi5. And some of you may know what that is. Some of you may not. It is something that has gathered a lot of people together over the last year now. And, when people see this stream, they're like, what is Mi5? For the people that don't know about it, right? And so the first, little bit that we're going to be streaming out here is actually going to be a kind of overview of what Mi5 is. Who are we? What is the vision? What are we in this world to do? And, kind of how we, came to be. So, Brian, I want to pass it over to you. And so you can kind of give us so I can ask the question, what is Mi5?
All right. Well, thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Everybody, I am so amped. We've already got 5 viewers on tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our first ever Mi5 Mindset Mastery Call featuring a guest, because we did have one last week, but the guests were all of us, everybody that was in the Mi5 core. But this week, we're actually going to get into rhythms and featuring our guest, Tim. We'll talk a little bit more on that in a bit. But first and foremost, as Andrew said, why do we do these calls? Why are we doing these calls? To bring awareness to Mi5. Mi5 started last April, almost a year ago. But a lot of you guys on here may or may not have ever heard of Mi5. And if you have and you're one of our supporters, good to see you. Here's the deal. Mi5 started as a private community, and we are still very private in a private community. And all it is a group chat. Simply put, a Telegram group chat. We actually have a link, and anyone can join, and it's completely free. And this group chat has a vision, and this group chat has had a vision that's sort of come together and congealed together over the course of the last 9-10 months and has been nothing short of amazing. So tonight, I'm just here to describe to you guys kind of like what is Mi5 from a high level overview and why you should pay attention to Mi5. Number one, only if, of course, you wish to enact change within your life. And number two, why Mi5 has started to come to the surface and why we've started our social platforms and why we've launched our Facebook and our Instagram and our YouTube and our LinkedIn and what is in store for 2023. So here's the high level overview of Mi5. We are a compassionate group of leaders. We are consisting of 5 core members who have the same common vision in mind, and that vision is people. It always has been since day one. People is the most important element, arguably, in anything that you do in life, whether it's people that drive your career, or whether it's people that you have in your life that drive your success, or drive you to be a better version of yourself, or drive you to having motivation on a daily basis. And we recognize this power of people. In fact, one common thing in complete synergy amongst everybody who is a core member of Mi5 is we have a burning desire to make a positive impact on people and to make a positive influence on people. And this burning desire is something that's deep within all of our souls. And it's kind of how the vision of Mi5 came to be. So I'm going to tell you guys the story. Every single Mi5 core member, back last April when we first connected, we all had been through similar journeys in terms of our careers, in terms of our lives, and we all knew that we wanted something greater for ourselves and for our families and for our future. We all shared the common goal of helping people, but we all also knew that there was another way out besides the 9-to-5, another way out besides the rat race, and another way out and a different way of living than working for other people, making them rich and making them money, and not living out our passions and not living out our desire. So we connected over this same common thread and the same common vision. And the vision of Mi5 is to create the best versions of people by inspiring them and instilling them with positivity, destroying their limiting beliefs, and really challenging their perspective of the world. And we do this by teaching people the keys to unlock success and the education behind financial literacy, financial education, various things that we do within our community that have always been there and have always been core values. Now, Andrew, I don't know if you can see it, man, but I don't have access to the vision and mission statement of Mi5, but I would love to go through it. But I just can't see it on my end. So if you want to post that up for people so I can read through it so people can see our vision and mission statement, that would be great. He cannot. So we're in a little bit of a technical bind, but that's okay. We'll roll with the punches. Here's the deal. We believe that if we empower people to become the best versions of themselves and we instill them education and we instill them financial literacy and we expose them to various channels of creating residual income, then we can free them financially. And more important, free them from a time freedom perspective, right? Because one of the most important assets that you'll have in this world is time. And time cannot be bought back. And that is more importantly what we wish to obtain than anything. But you can't accomplish the financial and time freedom that you desire unless you have your mind right, unless you have your mind straight, which is why we focus on this core principle of mindset and becoming the best version of yourself, destroying limiting beliefs, developing the discipline, the attitude, and the mentality for success. That is number one. Before the financial literacy, before the income streams, before the money, you need the mindset. Because time after time after time, and we all know examples of this, right? Have you guys ever, heard the story of the lottery winner who won $10 million but is broke a year later? Or the story of the famous actor or actress who had everything they could ever desire, had the house, had the car, had the fame, but they developed a drug problem or an alcohol problem, or even worse, wound up dead. This is why mindset is so important. And then from building on that mindset, our first core element, then we roll people into the financial literacy. Then we roll people into the exposure to things that can create financial and time freedom. And ultimately, the end goal is to create individuals who have their mind right, have their time freedom, and are able to pursue their passions. Because if you have no financial worry, if you have no financial doubt, you can free yourself from the 9 to 5 and you can pursue whatever it is you want and go after whatever it is you desire within your life. And ultimately, we believe that by doing this for as many people as possible, we'll make a positive impact on humanity, the world, and everybody. Because we believe that the best thing that this planet could have is more people living out their passions and more people pursuing their dreams. And that's really the aim and the vision of Mi5. I'm sorry I didn't have the cue cards up tonight to talk about the actual vision and mission statement and read it off verbatim to you guys, but I like the authenticity that we experienced here. One of the interesting things is in the last 9-10 months that Mi5 has been in existence, we've actually helped over 60 people create residual income streams. And we've helped over 25 of those people create residual income streams 6 figures or more through plugging into our system. And our system doesn't even require that much effort or discipline and not really a lot to plug into. And that's one of the brilliant things about what we've done is we've dumbed it down, because through our decades of experience, myself, Eric, Andrew, Brandon, and everybody that's contributed to the Mi5 vision, our mentors that are 8, 9, 10 figure net worth individuals, they've taught us the secrets of the wealthy. They've taught us the secrets of the financial freedom that they've used to acquire their success. It's really simple, actually. We've got a brokerage company that helps along the way. If you guys know Grand Rising Financial, if you don't, check it out. We've got so many other things and so many great tools in our tool belt to be able to teach people and educate people and understand how easy it is to plug into our system. And no, it's not $995.95. It's not $200 a month. It's not a cost at all, actually. It's completely free. Join our chat, join our group, and you can come in and you can spread the love and you can spread the awareness and you can build community with us. And that's what we're looking for, is to build community and to build a community of people that are passionate about living their passion. Because we want you to live your passion. We want to live our passion. And we're blessed enough as the core members of Mi5 to have the time freedom and to be job-free entrepreneurs. And our goal is to teach that to as many people as possible. And no, it's not like those other get-rich-quick schemes or other things that you've heard about. It's not some scam. You can just come join our community and learn together and grow together. And we'll happily nourish you and accept you. All right, without further ado, because I've talked for long enough, just want to make sure that Tim is here. I want to make sure Tim is ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to turn on a couple of the channels here, make sure I can hear Tim. Tim, are you there? If you are, please come off mute. Say hello.
I am. I just can't. Nothing. Gotta undo my camera.
All right, let's see if he can undo his camera. I just want to make sure we can hear you, Tim, loud and clear. I know we've run into a couple technical difficulties tonight, guys, but we're going to introduce our special guest, Mr. Tim Wynia. Tim is a longtime friend, we've been working with Tim throughout the journey of MI5. He is a successful entrepreneur, a businessman. He's had his hands in so many different industries, from cannabis to selling vacuums door to door. He is going to be an author soon. He's got a book on the way. I'm sure he'll speak to that. And he's a father. He's a man of faith. And he's one of the most brilliant individuals and somebody that we call a dear friend. And Tim is going to share with us tonight an element of transparency behind some of his success. And I cannot be more proud than to introduce Mr. Tim Wynia, but it appears as though Mr. Tim Wynia has popped off at the second that we were supposed to introduce him. So don't worry, we've prepared a backup. But welcome, Tim. We've got some people here. I just want to say hello, Cayenne. Hello, Sharon. What's going on, Em? Andrew, Brandon, and Eric, I've created a chat channel for us to help troubleshoot Tim. You guys you want to help him in there on our text message thread? I'm going to go a little bit deeper into what this is going to look like after Tim comes on and speaks, because it's important for you guys to realize the layout of these calls. So Tim is going to speak. He's going to give his presentation. And then after, we're actually going to pop over to our private Zoom that is going to be for MI5 members only. Again, it's free to be a member. I'm going to throw our Telegram link right up here. So if you guys ever want to join the fun in terms of coming out, hanging out, and learning, you can join us on Telegram. For those that don't know what Telegram is, it is a private chat and a private, community that you're able to have various chat messages and groups in. And Telegram is our method of communication just because it's great. You can share files in there. You can spread positivity. You can share pictures. You can share videos. So we use Telegram. It's an app. It's free to download on the App Store. That's our link. You click it and or make note of it. And that's posted up all over our social pages. And you guys can join the MI5 community too. Now, the goal right now, we're at 100 people within the MI5 community, of which, like I said, 60 of those people have received significant financial benefit within the last 9-10 months, and of which multiple people have changed their lives utilizing our system. I see Tim's back in action here. Looks like he may be on a computer. Tim, we can see you. Can we hear you? Let's hear. I didn't hear that. Let's hear again.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, but very blotchy. Let's try this out. Without further ado, guys, I hate to keep y'all waiting. We're going to try this out here, Tim. Check, 1, 2.
Check. Can you hear me?
There we go. You're loud and clear. We can hear. Without further ado, long anticipation. Thank you to the 9 people that bared with us as we continue to figure out Restream and have technical difficulties. Tim, you're up, man.
You guys.
Send us away.
It's nice to be here, Ryan and Eric, and welcome. It's people. I mean, you laid it out really, said, Brian, are in the notes that I have for later this evening, and to tell you a little bit about me, I've come from, and yes, I grew up as a kid farming was rough. We had a lot of illness issue. My farm, I went on to sales after started working with and finding extra money because I was never satisfied. It was more here. There's more here. I've got I'm was, and it's not as exchangeable. So you learn some lessons, and along the way, 2 of them are grown. Little granddaughter.
Oh, Tim, I'm told we're a little choppy. Let's see if we can help this break up here. We're receiving some feedback from our guests. Thank you so much here. How's your Wi-Fi signal?
Wi-Fi is good here. That's why I'm phoning into my.
All right, you want to try to, Eric and Brandon, you want to try dipping out and seeing maybe if we can just free up some bandwidth here.
Absolutely. I'll try it. Yep.
Alrighty.
And I can
Thank you for
turn
sharing with us, folks.
video off too.
Let's see.
So, yes. Check better now.
Ooh. I can hear choppiness now on my end. Alrighty.
Yeah. Coming through clear on everything.
Tim, it looks like you're on your
here.
phone too. Is that good?
That video. It wasn't letting my. So let me do that here. Video.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate. I suppose you can't. Can you put my audio from here?
Your audio is still choppy. Where would you like us to put your audio from? I could put your audio from your phone, but I can't hear you at all now.
Yeah. I'm going to actually get out of it.
All right, guys. Why don't we cut to a quick break? If you're watching and you're patient enough, I'm going to give you a chance to grab some water. And while we figure out this issue, we're going to be back in 3 minutes, and we'll go from there.
Right.
My phone.
480 megabytes. Check, Mike. Check. Check, Mike. 1, 2. There. Check. I've got a pretty severe delay.
Is there a settings menu
in this restream?
There it is.
Audio, relation, noise suppression.
All right, let's stream it over the phone, Tim. Let's do it. All right, Tim, you're up, man.
I'm gonna end this.
All right, guys. Can you hear me now? I'm hoping we're good. Check in chat here and give you a second. I'm just gonna go and we'll give it a shot, guys. Brian.
I want you to. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Can you hear me now?
All right, we can hear you, Tim. I'm gonna stream. We're gonna go old school here. He's gonna go over my phone audio and his video. All right, Tim, you're up,
We're
man.
ready to go. This is like dial-up. We talked about it earlier. You just sit and have your coffee while you wait for the. So that dates me a little bit. So I think I left off. We farmed. We had bad problems. I got 4 kids and a beautiful wife that I've been married to for 25 years coming up this summer. We had a marriage tragedy in the middle that we overcame, reconciled our marriage. And through that, we have been business owners multiple times over. We started a daycare center for 48 kids in central Minnesota. I was a fish manufacturer. I actually manufactured fish reproductions for the industry. I spent almost a decade in the health insurance, traveling all over. And that's really built up the bulk of my residual income. So we had sold other businesses, but we've never had anything that was long-term. And so at that point, I started being drawn to anything that gave me any kind of residual. You know, can I place a little bit of money here? And then can I, see it come back over and over and over and over? And really those residuals are what freed me up to do many, many other things in life, including help some of my kids start businesses, write my book, and really, get out of the day-to-day rat race, where you're chasing a dollar to pay for a need or a want. Mindset stuff comes from, it was notes that I put together over the last several years of lessons that we had learned, my wife and I, my kids, colleagues, mentors that I had talked to, things that you would almost think some of these are obvious, but yet some of them are just so far from what we spend any time thinking about. And that's really what mindset boils down to and this is from my notes here, it's a way of thinking. It's an opinion or a habitual mental pattern. And basically that's where you are right now. It's this is what I believe, this is what I think, this is my opinion. That's the way it is. It's mindset. The only way you can change that is to do some kind of a mind repair or steering it. And mindset repair is kind of what I look at. It's being aware in a single moment that you have the ability to change, right? There's a possibility. Your mindset is, I'm going to be firm with my kids. I'm going to be firm with my employees. Your mindset is, I'm not going to give to the guy that stands on the street corner and begs because I don't want him to go spend it on alcohol. Whatever your mindset is, right? It's where you are. Taking that single moment to be able to go, I can give to him, that guy on the street corner. Doesn't matter. The $2, the $5 isn't going to make me any difference. It's not going to hurt my finances, but it is going to open my heart. It's going to open my mind to being able to give. It may open an opportunity. Somebody else may see that and say, that guy's, run into him later at the bank and make a deal later. You have no idea where it's going to go, right? But it's just the ability to have a reaction of change, right? And before that, you're just basically on autopilot. Your life condition. It's all the things that you've been taught, you've been told, that you took in a repetitive motion or a repetitive process, and you're just basically regurgitating those. The challenge is to get to that place, and the only way that I've seen it is through a couple key things, and those are humility, an open mind, and having a stable mentor. Your humility is absolutely key. If you're not humble enough to be able to say, I'm wrong, or this mountain that I'm standing on, this position that I've taken isn't perfect or 100%. If you're not open or humble, you're never going to move. Nobody's going to join you in your place because you're unmovable, right? Stable mentor, that's key. You can't be relying on somebody who's wavering or faltering in their ways. And so when you're looking for a mentor, and I recommend everyone has a mentor in their life, multiple mentors. You can have a mentor that's a financial area. You can have a mentor that's really good with their family, and it's an emotional mentor. You can have one that's a fitness coach. That is your physical mentor, right? You can have all these different mentors, but they need to be in a stable place too, because otherwise what you're looking for is going to fall apart at a certain point if they waver, right? And so that's a challenge, but it's kind of a goal and a fun thing you can do. Remembering that, you got to sit in a position and go, nobody has all the answers. That's hard to accept, especially when you're fighting your point. But when you can accept that, when you can get there, now you can openly and freely share that with people, right? You can share it, and that's where you actually learn. When you're sharing things, when you're just consuming, when you're just taking knowledge in all the time, you're not really gaining perspective. You're just taking on opinions, right? You're taking on facts, you're taking on opinions, and you're not really digesting those. We can consume. I just talked with Andrew earlier today about that. And he goes, man, I've just consumed these conversations, and it's awesome. I'm getting all this information, and now I need to digest it, right? I need to process all of this stuff. And so you can feed, but you also need to digest. Otherwise, you basically just end up lazy and full and clogged up because you never got rid of any information. So sharing is really key. It makes you more confident. It makes you like a teacher. It solidifies your ideas. It helps you fine tune things and how you deliver things. This is a great example. There was a little bit of a notice, but I didn't have a long time to prepare for this. I was glad I had a whole bunch of stuff to pull from. But you really learn to deliver differently, to prepare. You see your information, you look at it and go, that doesn't even make sense, or that does make sense, or I've had a new idea about that. I can deliver it better. And you get a chance to put your ideas together. And then you get to have feedback. After this, I hope to be able to talk with some people and learn what your ideas are, and hopefully you were able to take some of this away. And then as you share, you also gain credibility. You get new opportunities. Obviously, I'm going to meet people here. I've met Brian, Eric, and Andrew, and the rest of the team. Anytime you share information in a credible way, you now look like you have intelligent conversation, right? And people around you can now go, I have a little bit more confidence in sharing this part of my life, or I have a little bit more, I want to dig into their brain a little bit more on this, because they see that you've taken some time. You've thought about it. You're not just immediately replying. There's a Chinese proverb, and it says, man appears wise until he opens his mouth. And there's a lot to be said there. When you can sit and receive somebody's conversation, process it, and then respond. It has so much more heart in it. People will feel your response. You'll engage in the moment. You're not thinking about the bill at the end of the meal, but you're actually like having a time of conversation. It can really lead to some powerful things. And really that's where all of our connections in life lead us. It's those opportunities. It's you met this person, you were kind, you were open, you were willing, they reciprocated, and it just went back and forth and back and forth. Open mind, listening, perspective, absolute keys. Man, so many good things. Where are you going to find your answers? That's a key thing. Mentors are great. Google, friends, professionals. You're obviously not going to go to your swimming coach for financial advice. You gotta be smart with where you're going to get your information, and then fact check them. It's okay. We live in an era right now, that is so full and available of information. It just literally blows my mind. I can sit and read all day, all the articles, the information. You could become a surgeon if you wanted to, just from reading online. There's so much information, and yet we won't spend time absorbing just fractions of it. You know, we'll spend time scrolling on a phone or other things. And so mindset, you know, having an open mind can play into a lot of different places. Relationships is a key. You know, having an open mind in a relationship can lead to a lot less arguments. You know, being able to have perspective. If I know my position, if I already know the ground I'm going to stand on and fight for, right? Why do I need to respond so quick? Why can't I just sit back? Let the person explain how they feel. It doesn't have to be this back and forth. You know, take your mindset and apply it to some hobbies. You know, open-minded, find a new hobby. We live in an era where there's so many hobbies, from axe throwing to carving soap. I mean, you name it. You can apply open mind to your finances, you know, having an open mind to opportunities like this, having an open mind to, you know, charities or anything. It's just opening your mind is like opening the doorway to possibility. I mean, it literally brings into visibility all possibilities. Until that, you're really just in a stagnant programming. And you know, we've all been in places like that. I mean, I can go back to several. I had one. I graduated high school early and took a post-secondary enrollment, so I was able to go to college a little early. I went to auto mechanic school because my dad wanted me to work on the farm and fix things there. And while I was there, I really excelled, and I got offered a job to work on and help blueprint turbos for Skip Barber Racing School. Huge opportunity. Back in the 90s, that was already a six-figure income, and I didn't understand that my future was mine. I steered away from that for my parents. Regrettable. But there's a lot of things I learned through that process too. You know, money isn't everything, and fame isn't everything, and possibility isn't everything. I met wonderful people that I never would have met through the farm. I got physical education that I never would have gotten. There's so many things, and that perspective really plays into some gratitude. If you can take the perspective and see the things around you and be willing to be grateful for them, it all of a sudden makes a lot of the negative things seem a lot quieter. You know, words can create, words can destroy. If you think about anything in this world, from a bridge being built across water to a massive skyscraper to a relationship to an automobile to a home, you name it. Somebody spoke an idea, an architect or a therapist, somebody took those words and processed them and then gave them to another person, and that person took those words and processed them through their hands or their activity, and those words and processing either meet a yes or a no at every point of resistance, right? And when you push through that resistance, things happen. You're either going to push through negatively or you're going to push through positively. You're going to either break things or you're going to fix things. This whole company, this Mi5, wasn't built with hammers and nails. It was built with words, all of it. And in my life, I've really tried to define words. It makes things. Sometimes you can almost get legalistic, which you have to be careful for. But sometimes defining words can give you a lot of safety and security in knowing your path. And a couple of those words that I wanted to talk about tonight were want and need. A lot of times, those have gotten me into horrible places when I mix them up. We really need to be able to examine whether it be emotional. I'm not just talking financial here. Wants are not necessary for living, right? I can live without it. I know it's a foreign thought process in today's society. I don't want to live without it. We use want. We throw want into, I don't want to go outside because it's cold. I want to have a hamburger. I want. And we say want with so little intention behind it that it becomes almost useless. What if you replace I want with I will? Just a word, right? What if instead of creating a burning desire for something by the word want, you created a burning passion for a project by I will or I can? It's just a word, right? But it's one of those things that we've been programmed as kids. What do you want for Christmas? Okay. What do you want for your birthday? What do you want for a graduation gift? What do you want for a wedding gift? What do you want for your kids for a baby shower? What do you want? And we spend so much time focusing about what we want that we've actually lost sight of what needs actually are. And realistically, your needs, once they're met, everything else is free for choice, right? You can steer it to investment. You can steer it over to fun. You can't put it in both buckets at the same time, but you can steer it wherever you want to. But being aware of it allows you to steer it versus deceiving yourself and telling you, this is something I need. I need that coffee in the morning or I will go nuts. Well, what stress is causing you that in the morning? Can we look at that? Do you need to spend $400, $120 a month on that coffee? I'm just asking. It's a question, you know. And we as children ask why all the time. Why is the sky blue? Why are the trees green? Why are the blah blah blah? Why? And then at a certain point, I think parents kind of get tired of answering the why. It's like, well, geez, ask your teacher, ask your grandma, ask you, and we get told just because, and we stop asking why. But why is the key to everything, right? Why does the system work? Really? Sweet. Now I know. I can confidently share that with somebody. Why are you happy? Really? That's great. I can share that with somebody, right? Why is such a simple thing to create conversation? And we've kind of gone away from it. So, you know, really take a look at yourself, need, want, try to identify those, and then really start to manage those assets that you have. Your assets are going to be things like time, energy, finances, emotion. All of those things require allocation. Brian did a great live earlier this week on his time layout. He put his Excel spreadsheet and tells all when he does it, way more organized than I am. Hats off to you, Brian. I can't be that organized. I can't. I shouldn't have said that. I have the ability to. I have not chosen to be that organized. And when you can take control of that, he's going to have more efficient use of his time than I am. Period. You can't get around it. I've got more time telling me what to do. I can steer it. He has. Energy, going to the gym. How much time do you sit on the couch? How much time do you sleep? You know, your emotional health. Do you do things that help regenerate you? Do you do things? Are they mindful? Are they emotionally rejuvenating for you? You know, some people like to read. Some people like to play sports. Some people like to go fishing, go for a walk, go for a run, lift something, punch something. Not as good. But anytime you can do something to release some of that emotion and get yourself some serotonin release and get those calories burning, that's so good for your body too. So allocate, you know, don't be afraid. And realistically, what would happen if you did? What would happen if you told 30 minutes of your scroll time or your TV surfing time or the sports commercials, you just muted it during the commercials and you complimented your spouse or your kids, or you emptied out your email trash, right? Just a few minutes to steer and not have that mind space being all plugged up. Your mind space is yours. That's a huge key. People can place thoughts there Somebody can send a bad whatever, a good whatever, but you are the one who decides how long that thought stays there and what that thought is. It's willpower, right? You have your own willpower. I heard a great speaker a long time ago, and he said, he was talking about when does a thought become evil, or when does a thought become bad? And he said, it's not a sin for the sparrow to fly into the barn, but there's a problem when it makes a nest. And if you've ever seen a barn full of sparrows, as soon as they make a nest, then the birds basically feed their chicks in the nest, and their rear is hanging out, and everything falls down, and you have a nest. And so, when the sparrow makes a nest is a problem. And I'm going to give you an example to really help you understand how easily you can control your thoughts. I just want you to just clear your thoughts for a second. Just think of square, right? And I'm just going to say banana, race car, Christmas tree, puppy dog. Each one of those thoughts put a picture in your head, and it was a strong picture, right? May have missed one, but each one that you thought of sat there for a second, and it didn't matter how strong that picture was, it was immediately replaced by the next one. As fast as one image comes in, another image can replace it. And when your mind is open, it can be replaced as quick as you choose. Have you ever gotten stuck on a word like, or literally, or awesome, or some other word that became a word habit? You said it so much that it became automatic. What if I'm good? I have joy. I'm full of peace. I'm blessed. What if those things became an automatic habit, an automatic thought? When you have a negative thought, you can replace it immediately. See, these thoughts, I was one of these people that was stuck, and I would think about things that happened in my past, right? And that was traumatic, and that was horrible. And then at a certain point, you have to realize that the only place that that's still active is here. It's not going on here. It goes on here, and then I feel it here. And so all I have to do is just flip a little switch. That's it. Just place a new thought. It's your mind space, right? You have the choice. Follow through. Another huge place that I always talk to people about. Follow through really carries the entire price of the project. Whatever it is, whether it be a relationship, a task that you're doing for work, whatever it is, if you don't follow through, if you don't finish, all the energy, all the thought, all the process, done. It's over, right? Everything you spent, all the money, nothing. The follow through is done. And then really, what was the point, right? Now what happens is you've got unfinished tasks that you think about because they were exciting to you at one point, hobby, whatever it is. And you're now going to give that space over to a task you're not going to finish. That doesn't even make sense. Find a couple of your things that you haven't followed through on, knock them out, get them out of your thing, out of your task list. And that really leads to getting back up. When you're done, that means the idea is finished, right? I'm not done when great example, I traded a camper. My family lived in a camper for about 1.5 years. We put our mortgage money away, saved it. We had no rent, no mortgage, anything. We then flipped that money into a home that we renovated, and then we sold that and invested in some businesses. And there was a point where we were getting ready to sell it, and all we had left was a little bit of putty in the woodwork. It was right on the trim, right? And I avoided it, and I avoided it, and I avoided it. And I could not sell that home because we couldn't have the appraiser come in until I had that one little thing done. It was just this one thing, right? Get those things off your list, all right? Your time, Brian, you talked about at the beginning. This is actually what I was going to close up with. Your time is one of your most valuable things. To me, it is your most valuable. Health is your second. And we literally are selling our hourly wages. We sell our time for hourly wages, and you can't buy it back. There is no buying it back. Once you've sold your time, it's gone. We call it free time. We waste it and spend it. But understand, we own, right? These are mine tomorrow to do whatever I choose with. 98 hours for the week, starting tomorrow, right? I have 98 waking hours, even if I leave myself 2 hours to eat and 8 hours a day to sleep. Okay, now if I take 40 away from 98, there's a lot of free time. All right, that's a lot of time to process. That's a lot of time to plan. Okay, and find your pace. You know, you don't have to use all of them, but can I use 2 hours more this week? What adjustment can I make to get myself into just a little better place so I'm a little bit stronger to make a little better decision, right? I challenge people when I talk to them, for every hour that you spend consuming media on your phone, on your computer, I guarantee you there are 1 to 2 people that would love to have spent 5 minutes with you, talking, learning, playing something. You'd remember the time a whole lot more fondly as well. Information is always available. People are not, so make your time count. And that's what I've got today, Brian.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Tim. We really appreciate it. We're gonna transition into a members-only Q&A session with you. And Andrew, why don't you close us off here?
Well, thank you, Brian. And Tim, my God, man, I wish I had a basket for all the pearls you were dropping out of your mouth there. It was pretty awesome, man. And, I took some notes here, because you know what? Note takers are money makers, baby. And, guys, if you want to ask some questions to Mr. Tim here, that is available. And also you can come hang out with me in the Mi5 core. We like to go chillax in the Zoom rooms that we're always chilling in, it seems like. That's kind of our job, is to spit fire out of our mouths, because we're just dropping this wisdom all day and masterminding and making stuff happen. So if you would like to join us on that Zoom call, that is for members only. If you are a member of Mi5, I'll see you in there. If you're just joining us from social media today, then thank you for joining us. And if you would like to join us, on our members only Zoom, please click on the Telegram link that's in the description of this, or if you can DM me or Brian or Eric or Brandon, or even Tim or whoever that you can contact, we will send it to you, and that way you can join us. So yeah, guys, what was that, Brian?
It's free. We don't charge a dime. You can come hang out with us.
That's right.
No
free.
We're just
free
hanging.
$99. Free $99. Yeah. So I want to wish everyone a happy rest of your night here. Have a grand slumber, as I like to say now. And I'll say it I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Grab your umbrellas, because Mi5 is taking 2023 by storm. We will set you free in 2023. Okay, there we go. Mi5 out.
Adios, guys. See ya.
Adios.
For those
Peace
members,
out.
see you on the other side.